This is a video that will explain how to fill out your TFA. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, as you know, we do the AVID tutorial in our study skills class. This is for Mr. Ross's class, this is for Kelly's class, this is for Hubble's, this is for Featherstone's class. We do the AVID tutorials. We've already gone over how to fill this out. However, I wanted you to have something that you can go back to. So this is going to be a recording of me filling out a TRF. So the subject for my question is English. You can have math as your subject for the question. You can have science, you can have world history, whatever. Just as long as you have a question. The next part of the document, and you can kind of see the document here. I'm just going through the same thing. I'll show you mine once I have filled it out. The next part, the standard essential question. So typically your teacher should show you your essential question. For English, lately it's been, why are adjectives used in writing? Or how do you recognize adjectives in a sentence? I'm just looking up at my board and reading that right now. So I'm going to write, how do you recognize adjectives in a sentence? Okay, so I have that first box, which is this box right there, filled out. You're going to have to get this whole front page filled out. Then the next box to the right. Well, that box is easy. I already know my name. Put my name in there, Austin Ross. The AVID period, this is 6th hour. The date, today is the 17th of August. If you're watching this video in December, make sure you put the right date, not the 17th of August. The initial/original question. So, we're already scrolling down. That is just how you're graded. This section right here where it says pre-work inquiry out of 12, resources out of 1, that's just your grade check. The next section, initial/original question. Well, if I'm a student, I might have a question off of the adjective quiz. So far through 3 class periods, we've had some success and a little bit of some struggle. So I'm going to pretend like I'm struggling. So one of the questions I have is regarding proper or compound adjectives, which is number 9. So under source, page number, and problem, my source is Canvas. That's where we took the quiz today. So Canvas. The page number, there is no page number, but the problem number is number 9. But instead of page number, I'm going to go ahead and put adjective assignment, since that'll help me find it later on. I can use this sort of as an organizational tool to get back to that problem. So, number 9. So, the initial question, not the question where I need to find the sentence where I need to find the adjective, but the initial question is the word a proper or compound adjective? So far I have the section up top here where it has my name filled out. I have the section with the class and so my subject is English. I have the essential question for English there, and I have my original question, the initial. So is the word a proper or a compound adjective? And then I gotta write down the sentences I'm struggling with. So the sentence is Francisco lives in a seafront cottage on a Hawaiian island. Okay, so I got that next part filled out just at the bottom there. The word that is bolded online, but I'm going to underline it here, is Hawaiian. So that's the one that they're asking me whether or not it's a proper or compound adjective. So that's what my question is. I don't know if that's a proper or compound adjective. that's what I want to show up the tutorial and ask my group, and they can help me get there. So, key academic vocabulary or definition associated with topic in the question. So, mine's pretty easy to come up with this. My original question is the word a proper or compound adjective? Well, I can use proper adjective and compound adjective. That's my key academic vocabulary. Now, my problem is I know nothing here. I don't know what a proper adjective is. I don't know what a compound adjective is. I know what a proper noun is. I know a proper noun is a very important name, like a state or a name of a person, something like that. And you have to capitalize it. And I know a compound noun is two words that you kind of mold into one, like widespread, something like that. But I don't know the definition for these two. So the next thing I'm going to do is probably look up the definition. Good, wonderful. Unfortunately, my computer just did that. So while I'm doing that, I'm hoping that you're filling out your TRF. Sorry for the delay. Now I got it set back up. So far we should have the key academic vocab. That's where we're at. We're about halfway done. We have a few more boxes to go. Now, what do I know about my question? So I was already talking about that. I was getting ahead of myself. I already know what a proper noun is. So I'm going to write down, I know that a proper noun is capitalized and that it's important. Okay, so I know that. The next thing is that I know what a compound noun is. I know a compound noun is two words put together, I'll say, put together, to make one word. So now I filled out the what I know about my question, and I'm almost done. Now I need to do critical thinking about my initial question. So I didn't just look at this question and choose A or B. Is it proper or a compound adjective? I didn't just do that. I took a guess. So I need to do some critical thinking about my initial question. So if I look at the initial question, is the word a proper or compound adjective? And the sentence is, Francisco lives in a seafront cottage on a Hawaiian island. Hawaiian is what's underlined. I know Hawaiian is also capitalized there. So in my initial question, I noticed Hawaiian is capitalized. Right now, I'm leaning toward say proper adjective. I know proper nouns is capitalized. I just don't know about proper adjectives. And then over to the right, you identify general steps. So what's the steps or the process that I took to get there? Okay, I'm on the right box. So if I identify my general process, I try to make a connection back to my prior learning. I've learned about nouns and now I'm trying to make a connection back to it. So I made a connection to my prior learning with nouns. So I made my connection to my prior learning with nouns. If this were a math problem, in that right box, where you're identifying general process and steps, you would probably go to your notes and sort of list the steps of how to solve a problem. So if you were doing one-step equations, you would go through and list your steps of how do you solve a one-step equation. And to your left, your critical thinking about your initial question is how far can you get to solve the problem. So if you can get halfway, then you would get halfway and go, I don't know what to do next. So then you write down the notes over there. So now, I'm almost done. I just have one box to go. That little box at the bottom. Now that's where I need to take this and figure out what my point of confusion is. So, my point of confusion is whether or not a state can even be an adjective. Because I know a state, Hawaii, is a proper noun. So can a state really be an adjective? So that's my question. Can a state be an adjective? So that's how you fill out the front half of the tutorial request form. That's something that we're going to do in class. You do this before you conduct your tutorial. So it's going to take, this video took 11 minutes to record. So my guess it's going to take between 10 to 15 minutes each day on the Tuesday and Thursday to get this filled out. Hopefully you come to class with a question in mind. You come to class, you get this page filled out, and then you flip it over to the back. The next part says recolumn note taking. So this is what you do in class. So during the tutorial, somebody is going to give a 30-second speech about their burning question, okay, what their point of confusion is. They're going to give us a 30-second speech about what's going on. Why do they need to be up asking their question when everybody else also has a question? Maybe it's because they have a test that's tomorrow. Really need the information. That's okay. So we'll try to get to everybody. But while somebody is asking their question and going through and trying to solve it, and everybody's trying to ask them questions, not telling them the answer, but asking them questions to get them there, you're going to be taking 3-column notes. Okay? So question, notes, and the steps of the process. After that, the final few minutes of class, we're going to do a reflection, which is just on the back page. Okay, we'll look after the tutorial. And after we have done that, we'll turn this in, and hopefully you guys have learned a way to not only help out your peers, but help out yourself a little bit and solve these problems. And hopefully you don't have the same questions. So if I showed up today on August the 17th and went over proper nouns and proper adjectives and compound adjectives, I would hope that by the end of this, I would have my question answered, and I would feel really confident that if I took another adjective test, I would get the answer right, because I had a group that really helped guide me and helped me get there. Okay, so if you ever have any confusion, this is where you go to watch for how to fill out a TRF form.